Once, in a French kingdom long ago, there lived a spoiled and bratty prince in a grand castle. He only cared about himself and loved to throw big parties with his loyal servants. He was rude, selfish, and never thought about others. One evening, during a beautiful debutante ball, a storm rolled in. An old beggar woman came to the castle door and asked for shelter from the storm. In return, she offered a single enchanted rose. But the prince laughed at her, mocking her ugly appearance, and refused to help. The old woman then revealed her true form. She was a powerful enchantress. The prince tried to apologize, but it was too late. She had already seen that there was no love or kindness in his heart. As punishment, the enchantress cast a powerful spell. She turned the prince into a hideous beast to match his cold heart. She also transformed his servants into enchanted objects. She erased the castle from the memories of all the villagers, so no one would come looking for them. Before she left, the enchantress gave the beast a magical mirror that could show him anything happening far away. She also left the enchanted rose. It would bloom for many years, but when the last petal fell, the curse would become permanent. The only way to break the curse was for the prince to truly love another and earn their love in return, before the last petal fell. If he failed, he would stay a beast forever, and his servants would lose the last of their humanity. Years later, during the 1780s, in the quiet village of Villeneuve, a young woman named Belle lived with her father, Maurice. Maurice was an artist and a tinkerer who made music boxes. Belle was kind, smart, and loved to read. She didn't fit in with the other villagers and often felt out of place. A man named Gaston, a proud and famous former soldier, wanted to marry Belle. But Belle didn't like him. She saw that he was selfish and full of himself. Gaston tried many times to impress her and even invited himself to dinner with her, but Belle always refused. At home, Belle spent time with Maurice, who was building a music box shaped like himself and Belle's late mother. He told Belle he would be traveling to another town to sell his music boxes. Belle asked him to bring back a rose, something he always did for her. On his trip, Maurice and his horse, Philippe, lost their way in the dark forest. Wolves chased them, and Maurice found an open gate that led to a strange, forgotten castle. He entered and walked into the dining hall. While sitting down to rest, he was shocked when a small teacup moved and spoke to him. It was a boy named Chip, who had been turned into a teacup. Frightened, Maurice ran out and tried to escape. As he passed through the castle garden, he saw a beautiful rosé. Remembering Belle's request, he picked one. At that moment, the beast appeared. Angry, the beast called him a thief and took him prisoner. Philippe escaped and returned to the village. When Belle saw the horse without her father, she knew something was wrong. She climbed onto Philippe and rode into the forest to find Maurice. At last, she reached the castle and found him locked up. The beast appeared. Belle begged him to let her father go. She bravely offered to take Maurice's place as the prisoner. The beast agreed. Belle stayed behind in the castle, and Maurice was set free. In the castle, Belle meets the enchanted servants. Lumiere, the cheerful candelabra, guides her out of the dungeon and shows her to a room in the east wing. There, Madame de Garderobe, the wardrobe, dresses Belle in an odd and unfashionable gown. Belle uses the gown's ribbons to try to escape by climbing out of the window, but it doesn't work. Meanwhile, the beast tries to invite Belle to dinner, but he is rude and impatient. He bangs on her door and demands that she come out. Belle refuses. As another petal falls from the enchanted rose, the castle begins to shake, and the magical servants become less human. Time is running out. One day, Belle wanders through the castle and ends up in the forbidden west wing. There, she finds the enchanted rose. Just as she reaches out to touch it, the beast arrives. He becomes furious and roars at her. Scared, Belle runs out of the castle and into the forest. In the woods, she is surrounded by a pack of wolves. The beast appears and fights off the wolves to protect her, but he is badly wounded. Belle, instead of leaving, helps him back to the castle and takes care of him. She cleans his wounds and stays by his side. Slowly, a friendship begins to grow between them. The enchanted objects watch this change and believe Belle might be the one to break the curse. Mrs. Potts tells Belle that the beast was not always cruel. After his mother died, his father raised him to be harsh and unkind. The curse reflected the way he had become, not who he was meant to be. Belle asks about the rose. The servants explain that if the last petal falls before the beast finds true love and is loved in return, he will remain a beast forever. They, too, will lose their remaining humanity and become ordinary objects. As time passes, the beast begins to care deeply for Belle. He wants to make her happy and shows her his library. Belle is amazed and touched. But even though she begins to enjoy his company, she still feels unsure because she is still his prisoner. To show trust, the beast shares another magical gift from the enchantress, a special book that can take someone anywhere they wish. Belle uses the book and chooses to visit Paris, the place where she lived as a baby. She and the beast are transported to a small, dusty house. Inside, Belle finds a plague doctor's mask and realizes the truth: her mother died from the plague. Her father had taken her and fled to save her life. Belle is moved by the discovery and starts to understand more about her past, and the kindness growing in the beast. Meanwhile, Maurice returns to Villeneuve and tries to get help to rescue Belle, but no one believes him. They think he's confused or lying. Gaston, pretending to be helpful, agrees to go with Maurice into the forest, along with his friend LeFou. Maurice tries to lead them to the castle, but the forest path seems to disappear. As they travel deeper, Gaston grows impatient. He admits that he only agreed to help Maurice because he wants to marry Belle. When Maurice refuses to give his blessing, Gaston becomes angry. He threatens Maurice and finally knocks him out, tying him to a tree to be left for the wolves. He acts kind again in front of LeFou, but Maurice has seen his true face. Maurice is saved by a hermit woman named Agatha. He returns to the village and accuses Gaston of what he did. Maurice calls on LeFou to speak the truth, but Gaston frightens LeFou into lying. Now everyone thinks Maurice is just a madman. Gaston uses this as a chance to convince the villagers to lock Maurice in the asylum. Back at the castle, the beast asks Belle to join him for a special evening. Garderobe dresses Belle in a beautiful golden gown. Lumiere, Cogsworth, and the others help the beast get ready and try to make him look his best. They all hope this might be the night the spell is broken. Belle and the beast meet at the top of the staircase and walk together into the grand ballroom. Maestro Cadenza plays music as they dance. It is a magical moment. They begin to see each other with new eyes. Belle starts to feel something more than friendship, and the beast feels it too. After the dance, the beast shows Belle the magic mirror. Belle uses it to check on her father and sees he is in danger. The beast, though heartbroken, lets her go. He gives her the mirror so she can remember him. Belle leaves quickly to help Maurice. As Belle rides away, the beast watches from his tower. He now knows he loves her, but he fears it's too late. The castle grows quiet. The enchanted objects are filled with sadness. Without Belle's love, the curse will never be broken. Gaston has Maurice locked away in a mental institution, run by a man named Monsieur d'Arc. In the village square, Belle arrives just in time. She shows the villagers the magic mirror and proves that the beast is real, revealing that her father was telling the truth all along. But when Gaston sees how Belle looks at the beast, he realizes she loves him. Angry and jealous, Gaston has Belle thrown into the asylum carriage with her father. He then gathers the villagers and rouses them into a mob. He tells them the beast is a monster who must be destroyed, and they all march toward the castle with torches and weapons. With the help of Agatha, Belle and Maurice escape from the locked carriage. Belle rides as fast as she can toward the castle to warn the beast and stop Gaston. Back at the castle, Lumiere and the other enchanted objects come up with a plan to defend their home. As the villagers break in, the castle springs to life. Lumiere lights up the hallway floor with fire. Mrs. Potts pours hot tea on the intruders. Cadenza fires piano keys like arrows. Cogsworth launches books at the attackers. Garderobe drops down from above, dressing 3 foolish villagers in wigs, makeup, and gowns. 2 run away screaming, but one is quite happy with his new look. During the chaos, LeFou is abandoned by Gaston. Feeling betrayed, LeFou decides to join the castle servants and fight on their side. Meanwhile, Gaston finds the beast in his tower. The beast is too heartbroken to fight. But when he sees Belle return to the castle, he regains his strength and begins to fight back. He corners Gaston and has the chance to harm him, but he chooses to let him go. Belle reaches the tower and reunites with the beast. As they embrace, Gaston shoots the beast from behind. The beast is wounded and falls. As Gaston reloads, the bridge beneath him begins to crumble. He falls and disappears into the depths below, destroyed by his own cruelty. The beast takes his final breath just as the last petal from the enchanted rose falls. The curse is complete. One by one, the castle's enchanted servants lose the last of their humanity and become ordinary objects. In Lumiere's arms, Plumette turns into a simple feather duster. Mrs. Potts searches for Chip, but she turns into a regular teapot before she can find him. Chip, who had been rolling through the castle, nearly crashes but is safely caught by the coat rack. They, too, become lifeless. The wardrobe, cadenza, and even their little dog all lose their magic and become silent, still objects. Lumiere and Cogsworth share a final moment of friendship before they freeze, too. Belle kneels by the beast and cries. She tells him she loves him. Suddenly, Agatha, the old woman from the village, appears in the tower. She reveals that she is the enchantress. Moved by Belle's words and love, she lifts the curse. Magic swirls through the air and touches the beast's body. He rises, healed and transformed back into a prince. At the same time, the spell is broken across the castle. The objects glow and shift back into people. Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, Chip, Plumette, cadenza, garderobe, all return to their human forms. Villagers who had forgotten them begin to remember, and some are reunited with loved ones. Mrs. Potts finds her husband again. Cogsworth meets his wife, who gives him a stern but loving hug. In time, the prince and Belle host a ball at the castle. Everyone gathers to celebrate. The ballroom glows with lights, music, and joy as Belle and the prince dance together, smiling and happy at last. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.